Produced by Hamza Yassin. Produced by Hamza Yassin.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's Omar. Wow, you guys. What a great week we've had. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. I got my boy Scotty Watty up in the house. I got Arthur with me here tonight, and you guys know we want to talk about it. So let me bring these guys on in so that we can just get to it, fellas. What is up?
What is up?
What it does.
Man, I felt the change. It felt like this is like the aftermath of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost feel like back in the day when I had, when so much stuff built up on me and I had that cry, that cry. I mean, I didn't even know how to equate. I was just like, did that feel like I just had a good cry or something? I don't even know, man. You know what I mean? Oh, when you're hella drunk, you just, I love you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but something happened, and I would like to start from the very beginning where there was a moment, a meeting happened. And from what I hear in this meeting, grievances was let out. Yeah. People were, hey, it was closed door. McDaniels said, I guess he was like, no holds barred. I don't know what he was thinking this meeting was going to actually be about. Like saying, hey, no holds barred. Maybe they were going to just complain, I don't get the ball enough. But from what I hear,
yeah, exactly.
At it. Come on, guys. Tell me about it.
Hey, I mean, a couple things have leaked out. I know you guys saw that AP said something about we beat the Patriots, and dude said, don't talk about the Patriots like that. It's funny because I thought about this show, and it was sometime, I believe it was Angela that said it, if I'm not mistaken. Josh McDaniels never really addressed the Raider Nation.
Right.
We part of the team. I don't give a damn what anybody says.
Right.
We're part of that team. So, first thing AP said, he was like, the nation, we're going to put out a better product.
Yes. Right.
I mean, in Seattle, don't they call it the 12th man? Which is the fans? Isn't it worth something? Come on now.
Oh, definitely.
And y'all got us running around the country, changing cities every goddamn, whatever, and we still here. So we don't deserve a mention? I'm saying.
Man.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And he called up AP. So as I heard it, players, captains, all let him have it. Okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything. He just said, okay, we're going to have Antonio Pierce speak for the coach. Mm-hmm. Antonio comes at like, hey, we got to believe that we're going to win.
Yeah.
He talked about his experience as a Giant, saying, when we played the Patriots, as far as we're concerned, we can win this.
Right. Yeah. The undefeated.
And they did.
Yeah.
And the whole takeaway I heard that Josh McDaniels got from that was he went to AP and said, don't talk about the Patriots.
Yeah.
Really?
Right.
This is what you get from this?
Yeah, don't ever talk about Patriots.
This is your takeaway?
Right.
I'm like, oh man.
But that's just, I think that's just a culmination of the disconnect that he had with players, with coaches, with everything. That just kind of summed it up right there.
Yeah. And this got to Mark Davis.
Yeah. Well, and my thing is I think teams take on the persona, they take on the attitude of their coach. Sure. I mean, we see it in Detroit, you know what I mean? Dude came in, talking about biting kneecaps when he first got there, and then you're seeing the Lions taking on that persona. You're seeing teams take on that persona. Our coach, let's face it, he was a bitch And that's the way that the team kind of started looking like. I mean, they were out there. I mean, you know what I mean? They would, and now you have AP who's like, let's go, fired up. He's tough. They respect him. And that's what I saw yesterday. I saw a team out there with some toughness, with grit. It looked like they were back in Pop Warner again, just having a good time.
You went too far, Arthur, though, but something happened before the game. I just want to hit a few points before the game because yes, we got to get to the game. But
yeah, you saw the team change and take on a whole new persona.
Mark Davis issued an apology to his players. I mean, you remember this guy was first arguing with fans talking about smarting up. He was defending his coaches when they were. I mean, he was defending McDaniels there a couple weeks back when fans were letting him have it, and to go to this, chuck out, I hear about $85 million to get rid of McDaniels, Ziegler, hell, and the offensive coordinator.
Right. Yeah.
Because coaches' contracts are guaranteed. Yep. I mean, I think right there, you go from firing everyone, and then you go to that press conference where AP says, I'm from Compton.
That's right. Hell yeah.
We drove to the Coliseum bumping NWA. Yep. Had my Raider hat on. I'm sitting there like I'm back at Fauché Junior High School, you guys, in my starter jacket, reminiscing. I'm like, I almost had a little tear. I'm like, oh, he's speaking. And not only did I feel that way, man, my timeline lit up. Everybody from everywhere was bumping straight out of Compton, whether you were from South Central or not. That, you know, whether you from Compton, whether you were from Cali or not, everybody was feeling that. Right. You know,
when he said that, I was so fired up. I was like, "That's me. I'm an LA Raider. Like, I'm like, that is me. What you are saying, that is me." And I was like, "Oh man, I like this dude." You know, and of course we had to see we still have to see what he has to do, you know, for the rest of, you know, whatever. But we couldn't have asked for a better start. I'll tell you that. I can't see where we could have, you know, incredibly improved. You know, we got, you know, whatever, but I can't see no huge mistakes that were made on you know, in the game.
Right.
Real quick, you guys, let's just say what's up, and folks in the chat. What's up, Mother Moon? Protect the Shield is up in the house. My lady is in the house. What's up, baby? Let's see who. Where's our apologies? I think when I think I'm gonna accept the one that he gave to the players. I'm just gonna accept that. You know what I mean? Like, because to me that was as good as his. That was the firing, the apology. Placing AP, I was like, oh, apology accepted. Apology accepted. Yeah. But I feel you on that. You know, usually it would be an apology to the fans as well, who's sitting there purchasing the product. So I definitely feel that, though. But you know what? I mean, right before the show, I just ran through my timeline and just grabbed stuff. I did. So Raider Nation, thank you for all the memes that I've stolen for you guys for this show, because look at that. I mean, we're talking about culture, instant culture from that doggone, from his press conference, from what we were saying we felt, all of a sudden there was this culture that was lacking, that feeling that was just lacking. I mean, AP ain't even played a game yet. Yeah. And that was the effect he had, just kind of coming from the heart. You know what I mean? It started in that locker room when they had that meeting, him coming from the heart. Then he goes to the press conference. It's coming from the heart.
Yeah.
And like I say, the ripple effects of that, I was like, wow. Yeah. Wow. You can't buy that.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people.
That's embedded in your heart.
Yep.
I mean,
that's in you.
You guys know how many geniuses and gurus and this and that have went to teams and absolutely failed. And this guy comes in, you know, has not a lot of coaching experience, but that intangible right there.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, you can't manufacture that. You can't train under some coaching tree to get that. Nope. So I was just like, just on that alone, to have that kind of effect on coaches, on players, on fans, on the whole freaking building. I mean, you look at Devonte. I'm ready to run through a wall for that man.
Right.
That's not a play. Hey, look, that's not a play.
I looked at that quote, and I'm not in his mind, but I think the key word in that quote was already. Yeah. Like, I'm tired. I want to win. Like I was waiting for this moment. The word already. Right. Is the key to that quote right there.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the mood that it was right there, is that word already.
That is extremely impressive right there. Yeah. Hey guys, don't forget, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. All right. I mean, I stole some more stuff. I did, like I said, and it didn't even take me a long time. Usually I'm scrounging to try to find some cool stuff that, you know what I mean, that I'm already going to talk about that supports this. It was easy. I mean, it was like everybody's proud already. I mean, look at Max. He's a real one. I mean, Max was already hyping up this game after the change. I'm sure everyone saw the video. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe I haven't paid attention to what the Raiders post, but they were posting a lot of player commentary. Yeah. After AP's press conference, there was a lot. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't recall seeing Josh Jacobs just randomly. You know what I mean? Just doing a little video, and I mean, I was just like, wow. Like I can say, dude, you put that in a bottle and sell me some. Because I mean, like I say, that's just awesome. And then now we get to this game. It's game day. I'm pumped. I was mad. I had to work. I had a little work event. It was fun. Come on. I mean, easy day in the office. I'm out in Lambeau, you know what I mean, with customer. Easy in the office. But my heart was hurting secretly because I'm like, man, like after that week and having that feeling, like, I was like, why is it? Because when all this was scheduled, I looked at the schedule, rated schedule. I was like, I don't mind missing that.
Giants game.
And so, like I say, after this week, I'm saying, okay, maybe I can get the game on my phone. And I'm like, they blacked this thing out nationwide, except for Las Vegas and this little part of New York, and everything else is the Dallas game. I'm like, oh, you killing me? Are you? I'm losing it. But of course, all on the inside. Yeah. But that's all I could think about. And then I'm looking at the game. I'm looking at the score. We're driving back, on the bus from Lambeau, and this happens. I mean, look at this face, but I'm like, it's halftime, and we up 24-0. When the last time did that happen?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was scrounging. I'm like, oh, okay, there was that one game last season. I don't know if we were even up 24 at the half, but it was a game against Houston that we at least got over 30 points. And I'm like, oh, we got this. We got this. And I mean.
So for me, right off the jump, that very first drive, I was like, what? What is happening here? And I watched the game with about 70, 80 people was where I was at. And man, it was just a whole day. Everybody was like on the edge of their seats, And then I started tripping out because during the game, I can go to the game now, Omar.
Oh yeah, we're on the game.
We're on the game.
During the game, they kept, they were saying, oh, well, this is the new coach. The first time they showed him on the screen, I was like, yeah, like to myself, like inside, I was like, everybody started cheering. Whenever he came on the screen, people were clapping. And I was like, I have never seen this before. For the coach, they were clapping for him.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about no little wow. Nah, they was hyped for him. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the first drive, you just saw the change in the team. Like I said, it's like they were just, I mean, the world was lifted off their shoulders. You see Jacobs running with a purpose again. You see, I mean, everyone out there running routes with a purpose. You just, like I said, it looked like they were back in Pop Warner. They were just playing to have fun and having a good time out there. And I mean, it was just amazing. Just the whole change in mentality of their attitude and everything. The way they were playing, you know what I mean? You didn't. Just the last couple of weeks, you see Devonte running routes and his shoulders are down. He's just like, so frustrated. And you just saw him out there making blocks. I mean, helping Jacobs, helping Jacoby get in the end zone, key blocks. And it was just so amazing to watch.
Devonte, did you see when he came on? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
you. You're good. Yeah.
Did you see when I think it was Myers caught a pass and he was out there clapping for him? And I was like, see, everybody was over there. Oh, you got to make the catches. You over there talking all this at the press conference and talking shit about him. Nah, the boy want to win.
Yeah.
What part of that do we not get?
Yeah. No, it was just, like I said, it was completely amazing. And honestly, I think as Raider fans, we needed that. We needed a blowout win. I've been telling everybody all day, I needed to sit there and watch a Raider game and not stress and not throw stuff and be upset and try not to cuss in front of my kid or something. I needed just a blowout win where I could just be happy and hang out. And I had some good food here. And Mom was here. And my wife, and we're just, having a good time. And I just need, and it was just great. I mean, I think I was just as happy and as joyful as the players were because it was just watching it was unbelievable.
And we weren't having a blood pressure attack.
Right. Exactly. The cardiac Raiders, as I call them, it was just nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and then they post this. This is from the Raiders. When did the Raiders become that cool?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I looked at that. I'm like, wait, hold on. Maybe this is some other Raider page I accidentally followed or something like that. This can't be the Raiders. And it was. I'm all Raiders with attitude? Really? Yeah. I mean, like I say, everyone in that building is feeling it. Everyone in Raider Nation is feeling it. I mean, and then, of course, at the game, Raider Nation is like, thank you, Mark. Yeah. All right, here's the sign, and it's a big thank you this time. I'm like, see, that.
I think it was said on this show last week that there was like a movement to that they had pushed out us Raider fans, us OG fans. And the new Raider fans was there, and everybody hated that. But like there's a movement to bring us back. And I didn't consider that until I heard it on this show. And I was like, you know what? You might be right. Because when was the last time that voluntarily Marshawn Lynch gave a press conference? Yeah. Come on, man. He was up there at the podium last week. God damn. That boy is known for not wanting to talk to nobody. And it wasn't a real press conference or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's that change. That's what came. And so do they want us back? It kind of feels like it. Like I said, I didn't consider it until I heard it, but it kind of feels like they might not want us completely back, but a little bit, yeah. And so that goes with that RWA post, and I saw that the Raiders put that up.
Yeah, man. I saw that. I was like, oh, it's on. The whole building is feeling it. The whole building. So I'm loving it, man. And unfortunately, right now, it looks like the Jets aren't doing too good when we need them to. It's like, hey, come, beat the Chargers real quick, and then we'll beat you guys next week. But Yeah,
that game is sloppy as hell. Golly, I watched the beginning of it. Oh God.
Right. So here's my question, guys. AP has 9 games, of which he's already won 1. Rich Bisaccia, we've been here before with an intro coach. He went 7-5.
Yep.
Lost in the playoffs. Didn't get the coaching gig. What do you guys think AP's record needs to be to keep his job?
So I thought about this. And honestly, for me, and he's already got 1 win, I think that it's probably going to take somewhere around, we got to finish with 8 to 9 wins. I think he's got to go 5-4, 6-3, right in that range, just to keep his job. We're hearing the names that they're throwing out there, so we'll see. But yeah, I think that if he can do that, and like I said, looking at the schedule, there's some wins, there's some winnable games. I mean, I think the Jets is very winnable. I think that, you know what I mean? After that, you have the Jets, you have the Dolphins on the road, tough game. You have the Chiefs on the road, tough game. Then you have the bye. You come out of the bye, you get Minnesota, very winnable with, Dobbs is their quarterback right now. They're pretty beat up.
And Dobbs always lights up his first 1 or 2 games,
sure,
and then he'll show you why he's a backup.
Exactly. So they're very beat up, and then you get the Chargers at home. Once again, winnable game. If you split the Chiefs, maybe you get the Chiefs at home after that, after coming off a long week, because you have the Chargers on Thursday night. So now you have 10 days to prepare for the Chiefs at home. So maybe we can steal that one at home, and then you end the season with the Colts and the Broncos. So 5-4, 6-3 keeps his job, and if the team is really playing hard like they were yesterday, and I mean, doing the things that I saw. I mean, I've never seen them blitz as much as they did yesterday, and blitz with conviction. You know what I mean? It felt like, I mean, I've been on Patrick Graham for the last year and a half about why are we playing so soft on defense, right? And then all of a sudden it felt like Patrick Graham got turned loose and the team was just blitzing with and dialing up good blitzes with conviction. So if that's what Pierce is about, is he's letting his coordinators, do their thing and actually coach.
I heard he sat in on the O-line meeting.
Yeah, there's some wins out there. There's some wins, and he can, you know what I mean? So that's where I think I'm at. I mean, we need 8 or 9 wins for him to stay around.
So my answer to that question, Omar, is, I mean, and I don't disagree with you either way, but I'm not 100% sure if it's a wins and losses thing.
Sure.
There's some similarities that just happened. Everybody loved Bisaccia, and he let him go. Everybody got on. Why Bisaccia? Why not Bisaccia? Why not Bisaccia? Everybody loved him. Well, damn, everybody seems to love AP right now. Mm-hmm. So maybe it depends on if we lose or however we lose.
Sure.
Well, what did we lose by 3 to the Chiefs? Did we you know what I'm saying? Like maybe those things. I'm hoping if we're gonna lose, I'm hoping we're in the game.
Sure.
Like we haven't been in the game. But if we're in the game and we lose, okay, that's fine. But I hope that gets considered along with the fact that, well, wait a minute, let's give this guy an off season to put some plays together. We got him on Wednesday, put him in the game on Sunday. He didn't have time to make nothing, make no play, make no this or whatever. Why don't we give him a chance? Let's look at everything as a totality.
Yep, I agree. No, absolutely. We're going to have some growing pains with Aiden too. And I mean, listen, he didn't do that yesterday. Aiden played a good game. He didn't turn the ball over. He did the things we needed him to do. A couple throws he missed, but once again, you're going to have those growing pains. So, I mean, that's the things that we're going to realize is there's going to, but like you said, it's how is he going to manage it? When Aiden does make that bad throw, when Aiden does do some things that rookies do, how does he manage it? How does he get him back? Hey, get back out there. I'm behind you still. So I agree. Yeah, as long as we're competitive and he's keeping the team moving in the direction that we saw yesterday, yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I think you just said it. I think I would classify whether you would get a job or not is in direction, as opposed to wins and losses.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, if O'Connell had a bad game because he had a good game,
sure.
Can you put that on O'Connell? He just got thrown into the mix.
Right.
Could you put it on AP? He just got thrown into the mix. But no. So that's direction, and I think that's what we're really hyped about. The direction of things. You know?
For me, you know, like I said, I have to go think about the Bisaccia situation. All the players loved Bisaccia, but I haven't seen anything like this. You know what I mean? They love AP, but everybody's loving AP. I mean, like I say, he has done something I haven't seen done in a long time. And to you know, right, you know, his opening act was this culture shift. He also has a rookie quarterback. Bisaccia had Carr.
Right.
So, like I say, if we win, I think we could win even less than 5 games, and this guy has a chance. Right. Especially, just as you were saying, Scotty, how we play these games.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. But we start winning more. We're over 500. Oh yeah, I definitely think 5 and if he goes 5 and 4, definitely. You know what I mean? He hits 5 wins. I don't see why not. Especially with, like I say, he's in the meeting rooms with the O-line.
Yeah.
That was one of my measuring sticks. I was like, I'm not even really looking at some of these wins and losses. I'm looking at some of these little things that have regressed. I mean, you look at Jacob Sunday at 98 yards. Let's see what happens there. If that continues, he's hitting that 100-yard mark, every game. I mean, there are some things that I think has to be noticed that was, like I said, just not even there. Yeah. You go from someone that's taking the life, sucking the air out of the locker room to someone who is just giving life to the locker room and beyond. I mean, like I said, these are just things you can't buy. And I'm going to say the Raider organization realized that real quick.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of what you just said, I mean, how many moral victories were won on Sunday?
Right.
I mean, 8 sacks as a team, but who was getting those sacks? I know Max had 3.
Max had 3.
Players. I was like, wait a minute. What number is that? Oh, damn. He got
right.
Oh, okay.
Saw a little bit of a Tyree sighting, which was nice,
Right.
Yes. You got Hunter Renfrow was out there making catches.
Yeah. Oh.
Is that not a moral
like distributing the ball?
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Tay only had 30-something yards, but I mean, look who had the most yards, and it was what's his name? He had 52 yards from that bomb,
right?
And then pretty much it was 40 here, 20 here, 30 here. I mean, you're talking about ball distribution, right? That was one thing I had to give the kid. He had no touchdowns and no interceptions, and that no interceptions is really great, but he's distributing that ball well.
I believe there were 8 receivers that got the ball.
Right.
Just a couple weeks ago, we couldn't get the ball to Devonte Adams.
Right. Yeah.
That is a hell of a victory.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a moral victory, man.
Well, and once again, to take off your point too, Scotty, is like you said, if we'd have lost that game, you have a rookie quarterback, you have a new coach, we have a new offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? And they were talking about that he was learning how to use the freaking button to communicate with the quarterback. You know what I mean? Waiting for the beep just so he could get the plays into the huddle. So, I mean, you got guys that are coming in, like you said, on Wednesday that are in new roles, and everyone stepped up. And like I said, in Tay not having a big game again, but just hearing him afterwards talking about how the offense is now rolling and how things are going in the right direction. That's what he wanted. He wanted to see the offensive roll. He didn't want to, he wanted to be a big part of it. But because he wasn't a big part of it and the offense wasn't doing the things he thought it could be doing, that's why he was upset with McDaniels. Now, yesterday, he's like, hey, the offense is rolling. We're doing things. Like you said, we're distributing the ball all the way around. We have a quarterback that can get the ball down the field, his arm strength. There were a couple times where Aiden hung in the pocket, and really just, he knew he was going to take a shot, but he hung in there and waited for the play to develop and then got the ball out and took a shot. You know what I mean? He does things that Jimmy doesn't do. He moves 2 steps to the right, 3 steps to the left, whatever. Jimmy doesn't do that. Jimmy looks like he's standing in a freaking cement most of the time. You know what I mean? The ball gets snapped to him and he doesn't move and he just takes a sack or he throws it away or he makes a bad throw or he checks it down. Aiden was just doing things that we haven't seen this year, and it was nice to see.
And Devonte's been in the game long enough. He knows damn well what was the Giants' playbook. Double team Devonte. Make sure he don't get the ball.
Yes.
He knows damn well that he can do his job by not catching the ball.
Absolutely.
The point is win, and he's out there clapping for other receivers.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That,
You know, he knows the game.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to get double teamed. That's not nothing new.
Yep.
You know?
And right now, Aiden might not be comfortable enough for those tight windows to catch him in double coverage.
He tried a few times.
Yeah.
Tried a few times, and I'm not mad at it. I mean, he kept the ball low. He did what he was supposed to do. You know, no picks, no fumbles, no turnovers.
Right.
Hey, you got to give him credit.
Yep.
That continues.
Here's the thing on the memes and all that stuff that you're talking about too. Here's the thing. Oh, it's only the Giants. The Giants don't get paid.
Right. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yes. Did Chicago get paid? Because
right.
They sorry too. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it about it's only the Giants. The Giants get paid too. They're a professional football team. Also, they got coaches. They got players. Didn't the Giants hold Buffalo to 14 points? They couldn't hold us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hear about it's only the Giants.
Yep.
No, but in more than that, how many times have the Raiders played down
Yes.
to the competition and make a bad team look good? We just did it with the Bears.
Yes.
So for everything to go down, and then we beat a bad team the way you should beat a bad team.
Yep.
That was a victory on top of a victory on top of a victory.
Because look back to week 1, we barely beat Denver, and the truth is Denver left points on the board.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear shit about this is a bad team. Unless Denver just beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
I don't want to hear shit about no, this is a bad team. If you're playing a high school team, okay, well, you got a point. But nah, you playing a professional team. They get paid too.
Yep. Yeah. So,
you know? Hey.
Like I said, I knew why I was happy. I'm like, oh man, finally. I mean, because the one thing a good team has to do is win the games they're supposed to win. Any given Sunday, you can lose.
Sure.
But if you're going to get into the playoffs, you have to win those games you're supposed to win. And it's got to be in your division. It's got to be those teams that aren't as competitive as you because you're not playing down to them. You know what I mean? You're playing consistently well. And like I say, for that, I was just like, okay. You know what I mean? That was, like I say, to me, that was a triple victory. One, new coach, new offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback. You know what I mean? AP was the only head coaching experience he had was at Long Beach.
Right, yeah, high school.
You know? Luckily, we know he was a linebacker coach a couple of years, but, you know, and coached in college. So he's got some coaching experience. And, of course, he had player experience. And like I say, that intangible, man, it's going to carry him far. And I hope he does well. I want him to be our coach. But we all know we don't get what we want all the time. And so I do have to ask, you know, because there's a little list going around. If we have to go a different direction, what direction? And I know this is hard because it's like, oh no, we got our guy, and I feel that. I feel we got our guy, but I have to just kind of say, you know what? We've seen where we were all good. We were good with Versace, and we saw Mark Davis go a different direction. You know what I mean? And I have to think it could happen again, but I think Mark Davis learned his lesson. And if this guy shows him some light, if that door is open for him to give him that job, I think this time around he will. I think he's feeling what we're feeling. And if that continues through the season, till the end of the season, AP will be our coach moving forward. But out of some of these guys, some of the names you've heard, maybe not what was on this list. If you guys seen this list, Jim Harbaugh, Frank Smith, Ben Johnson, Brian Callahan. I don't think I want another Callahan. Nope. Jiro Evero.
Nope.
Dan Quinn and Brian Flores. We know we ain't going to go blind Flores. We're not picking from the forbidden fruit of Patriots ever again, I hope. Yes. So it's automatically scratch him off the list. Yep.
For the love of God. I've heard of Bieniemy also in that.
I heard Bieniemy, yes.
Eric, you're right. I hear his name thrown out a lot.
Right.
And you know what? For me, Eric Bieniemy, most of his career was driving an autonomous vehicle. I'm sorry. People don't understand that. He was coaching Mahomes under Andy Reid.
Right.
In Andy Reid's system.
Yes.
I'm like, man, if you don't absolutely hang me upside down and snatch my socks off in a meeting, you're not. I mean, I'm sorry. That was the same thing I said about McDaniels. Like, dude,
yes,
he was driving an autonomous vehicle. I don't know how I was watching that game when Brady came off the bench for Drew Bledsoe, and I was like, damn, this kid can play.
Right.
And then I grew to hate him, of course, because, Tuck Rule and beyond.
Sure.
But this dude has made everybody look good, and they've all failed. So I'm nervous. That's my, and I know Bieniemy also had a little pass, but more than that, I'm nervous for guys who aren't actually developing the quarterback. If you're an offensive guy, if you're an offensive-minded coach, and you don't if you don't do what Andy Reid did, number one, identify your talent, not once, but twice. Andy Reid went to the well and in Philly, came out with his guy, developed him, went to the Super Bowl,
right?
Went to another team and did it again. I'm like, okay. But who are the coordinators under him? I don't know. Maybe there are some. Maybe somebody can say, hey, Omar, you're wrong. Here's one Andy Reid offensive coordinator that was a great head coach. I can't think of one. Anyway, sorry. As soon as you bring up Eric Bieniemy, that's what just comes up. I get scared. I'm thinking you're driving an autonomous vehicle. You haven't really learned how to drive. So,
I personally, I think it's a little bit of a slap in the face to AP, and I know everybody's got to talk about it or whatever, but
yeah, I know.
Before he even coached his first game, they was already talking about who he's going to get replaced with.
Right.
And again, which number 1 through 5 pick has come out of the draft and killed it.
All right.
I can't think of too many. So the top dude isn't really, I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, I really don't know, but my thing is, at this point right here, I'd rather just roll with AP and see what happens, because even if it's not the greatest season to the end of the season, again, if it's my thinking, I gotta say, I just threw this guy into the fire.
Yes.
Right.
And I haven't even given him a chance to get a playbook together, to get whatever together, So again, I think it's going to depend on the climate and what the losses look like, what the wins look like, and all that stuff. I don't know about head coaches, man. That's just so up in the air to me, who can do what and who can do where. We keep rotating the same bunch of coaches around the damn league, it seems to me. They just keep going from one spot to another spot to another spot. So, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that,
So if we keep AP, what do you think he would change? Do you think offensive system? You think we would stay there? You think he would keep his staff? Or, as I believe someone said in the chats, we have to get rid of Graham.
and that's my thing is, I agree with Scotty. I think we need to give AP a chance. Let's see what he does the rest of the season. Let's see, like you said, is he going to change the culture? Is he going to change the way we're doing things? And for me, if we're competitive, like we've talked about, and he's going in the right direction, then we have our coach. Now let's bring in a GM that's smart. I mean, that's for me what I really want. I mean, we haven't had a GM since
like Champ. You don't like Champ?
you know what? And that's I want a smart GM. If it's Champ, it's fine. I need someone that can actually go out and evaluate players and bring in some talent. I think that we haven't had a good GM since McKenzie left that really brought in talent and was drafting not only for needs but drafting talent wise. Wasn't reaching for players because it was a player need. Wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the big thing is we're not wasting picks. You know what I mean? We've had some missteps in the draft. Let's just face it. I mean, the Alex Leatherwoods of the have set us back. So my thing is let Antonio build a staff like we just talked about. See what he's going to do. If he's going to bring in a new offensive coordinator. If we're going to ditch Patrick Graham and he's going to bring in his own guy, whatever. Hey, let's start building philosophy. And hey, what are we going to look at as far as building a staff in the offseason? And if we're keeping him, then give me a GM that can scout talent, that knows talent, and can actually help us build a team.
I love y'all, man. I was just going hypothetically if we got to go somewhere else and y'all just couldn't do it. Like, no, I can't do it. I love y'all. Even the folks in the chat, I was just like, I want AP. Hey, look, I want AP. I want him to stay. I was just thinking, but, going back to Versace, if it doesn't happen, who do we like? And everybody's like, fuck them all. We like AP.
Like I said, let's build a draft. Let's get a GM in here. Let's start building this roster out, and let's go.
Everybody in the name of the show, couch GMs. Everybody's well. If I was the GM, I would. Day one, the GM and the coach brought in defense.
Right.
So I think that's the way they're going to trend because that's what they can do at this moment. But it looks like that's the way they're going to trend. And you know what? Offense sells seats, defense wins championships.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because another point I'll bring up is that, people are talking about, well, this is a total rebuild. I don't think it's a total rebuild, and I'm not arguing that point. But wait a minute. A total Max Crosby, Josh Jacobs, Devonte Adams, Hunter Renfrow. That's a total. You got something to stay. You got a foundation right now.
Yeah.
You got a foundation right now. That's not total. That's not going down to the dirt. Nah, not at all. So if these guys got that mind, hey, let's bring in some defense. All of a sudden, I ain't seen that many blitzes the whole damn season as I saw.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you on that. I was like, what?
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
Yep. I mean, when in our glory days, we were a defensive team. We played good ass defense. We did. We got to get back to that. All right. So my next question is, since we're completely just we ain't even thinking about anybody other than AP. The poll,
we good right now.
AOC doesn't do well. And two questions here. Do you think that's going to play a role in AP? Is he going to be held responsible for, number one, a pick he didn't make? He did make the best decision to bench Garoppolo. Garoppolo keeps getting hurt. How can you get some chemistry going week in and week out if you got a guy who, I played this week. Oh, I'm off this week because I'm hurt, who's playing every other week. So do you think AP is going to be held accountable for AOC?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe he's going to be held accountable. I believe that, once again, he came in, he was looking for a spark. He was looking for a guy that could come in and maybe bring a little bit of new life to the offense. Like you said, Jimmy plays this week, then he's out for 2 weeks. He has rough games. His decision-making hasn't been there. He's made some really horrendous throws. So he was just looking for a guy that could bring in a spark, and I think that's what he got. But let's face it, I talked about it. If Aiden starts having some growing pains going forward, I don't see him getting held accountable for that. And like I said, that's where a new GM comes in and, once again, starts evaluating the talent on this team. Is AOC our guy, or are we going to try to move up in the draft, or depending on where we fall? I mean, what are we doing? Is there someone that we want to target in the draft? So I don't think that we can hold him accountable just because of what happens the rest of the season with O'Connell.
All right. And on that note, since you perfectly segue us into do we move up in the draft, who do we like? I mean, I know the consensus pick has always been the kid from USC, but it seems like he's sliding down in play. He's definitely sliding down with that. I want a part of the team ownership.
Yeah.
If he really did say that, you know, I can say I don't know.
Yeah,
it could be it could be rumor, but if he really did say that, I'm like, whoa, if I'm a GM, that would hella scare me because I could draft this kid, pick my number one pick, knowing I am not going. I'll have to do one of those numbers that they haven't done in a while. Remember, before the draft, they've already signed their pick and had him locked up. I think I would have to try one of those moves. Be like, you know, especially if I moved up to number one and just say, hey, kid, here's the contract you're going to get. Are you good with this? And, you know, because if you're not,
we're moving on.
I'm trying to waste my pick on you.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, there's some other kids out here who's hungry and they're ready to prove themselves. And, you know, so who do you guys like? I really want to hear if we have to go quarterback. What's your thoughts?
For me, that's kind of tough. I mean, again, I've never been so. I think the number one pick is a catch-22.
Right.
Number one pick's going to the sorriest team. Then you got CJ Stroud. God damn, that boy's balling out. Okay,
Jesus Christ, rookie record. Almost 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jeez.
I saw the end of that game. I was like, oh, look at this boy right here.
Right.
It's a toss-up. And then you got Max Crosby that came out of the 5th round, something like that. Hunter Renfrow came out of the 4th round. You know, I'm not big on this, on the college. This guy is doing real good, so it's going to translate to the NFL because it never has. It's the same equivalency as who's come out of the Belichick tree that's been able to coach a team. It's the same equivalency. It really is. You got some players that do good, but hey, number one pick, they don't come in there killing people, you know? Again, I hate to not answer the question, and I wasn't that hyped up on AOC. I think the jury's still out on my end, even though I think he had a great game. Hopefully he can do something, but either way, no matter what happens, you're going to have to get a quarterback, no matter what. Garoppolo's going to be gone. Garoppolo's gone. Hoyer is gone. So you're going to have to get a quarterback, at least in the draft, I would think, unless you're trying to sign some backups, you know, to the squad. Man, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know who's going to translate to NFL greatness. I don't know.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because right now it looks like CJ Stroud and our guys going, you know what I mean? That's all I've heard about. I don't know how. I think we had about 6 rookie quarterbacks playing this past weekend, and the only one I heard anything about pretty much is one. I'm a Raider fan, so AOC, and then of course CJ Stroud because he's just over there lighting it up like, you know, like nobody's business. But you know, like I said, it's just hype. I want AOC to do well. You know what I mean? Of course, I want AP to do really, really well, but I want AOC to do well because I would love to solidify the 2 most important positions, your head coach and your quarterback. If AP has a good quarterback, oh man, and he can now focus, you know, on filling in whatever pieces that he sees necessary, you know, whether it's some O-line, a couple of skill positions, whatever it is, cornerback, which I think some of us, I remember in this last draft, was hoping that we use that 1 pick on. I would love that, you know, because when you have a good quarterback and a defensive-minded coach, they can win championships. You know, in my mind.
And the thing about that is that, you know, let's assume AOC is good enough. He's going to make his mistakes. He had a good game, and he's going to make it. But you know what? Every quarterback does. I don't care how great you are; they have shitty games. But let's say he's good enough, and you can have Devonte say, "Hey, it's all good. You missed me on that one. Let's get our timing right. Let's get in practice right. Let's, you know, all that kind of stuff." And you got a Renfrow that dude either should have been in a football player or in Cirque du Soleil because he could just twist and turn and he's a weird freak of nature type athlete. You got Jacoby Myers. Okay, I'll take Jacoby Myers. He's done really well this season. You have offensive pieces. Do those team leaders, do those captains, do those Josh Jacobs and Devonte Adams and Max Crosby's say, come on, kid, I got you, to let the coach say, we're going to go defense on this shit. I need this shit locked the fuck up, because the quarterback is okay. He's learning. He's coming along. But I need you guys to lock up that defense to give him some breathing room.
Yeah.
So
I'm scenario? I think so.
I'm actually a little bit on the other end of the spectrum from you, Scotty. When they first drafted Aiden O'Connell, I didn't know anything about him. I'll be the first to admit it. And we had this, we did the podcast in the spring after the draft. And I got to work and did some research on him and read a lot about him at Purdue. I mean, he's a smart guy. I mean, the dude could have went to freaking to Harvard, or, he could have went to a big time, Ivy League school. So he's smart. And I was big on him from the start, just everything I read on him. And then when spring practices hit and everything, rookie camps, I kept up on him. I hit all the blogs, I hit all the sites. So I've been a big AOC supporter since the start. I think he can be a guy that, like you said, he can come in, he's going to have some growing pains. But I think that if with the right offensive coordinator, with the right team around him, he's got he's got the Devonte Adams, he's got Jacoby Myers, he's got Hunter, he's got Jacob, he's got a lot going for him. I think that once we get through these growing pains, that he could be our guy. I mean, so we need to reach on a QB. I don't want to panic and trade up and go get the kid from USC, go get Drake Maine. I think that's why I want a smart GM that says, hold on, you know what? We can take another year with this guy and let him develop with our coach. And we're going to go out and we're going to make a smart draft pick, and we're going to take a defensive player. We're going to go get a lockdown corner. We're going to go get a linebacker that can run sideline to sideline and hit and cover, and get some players that we haven't had in a long time. So I'm on the other end of the spectrum when it comes to O'Connell. I've nerded out on the kid. I love him. I think that he could, given the opportunity. I honestly thought the San Diego game early in the year that he started, same thing. He had some bad throws. We had some growing pains with him, but for the most part, he played a pretty good game. He kept us right there. We were in that game. We could have won that game. So
my only thing is, though, but you still need somebody behind him, and I think Hoyer and Garoppolo are gone.
Right. No, I agree with bringing in another quarterback. I'm just saying that I don't think that the question is do we need to go out in the draft and get a QB? I don't think we need to panic. I think that we need to kind of figure out what happens the rest of the year, and then, like I said, have a GM that's going to come in and evaluate the talent and say, you know what, let's give this kid another year.
Yeah.
I mean, from what Trey said about AOC is that he's a dog. He's in there early, breaking down film, and I think Devonte gave him his stamp of approval. I think right now he does have the team behind him.
The kid's smart.
He showed that yesterday, which is huge improvement over that game against the Chargers. But I don't think a lot of that was on him.
Right.
I think a lot of, when you got Khalil Mack, who had a career day, and he's not getting double teamed, that's not on the quarterback.
Right. Exactly. Give him a little bit of time. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's doing some good things already that I'm seeing that I haven't seen all year long with Jimmy. Just a couple steps to the right and the left, moving the pocket just a little bit, hanging in there, making a throw, going through reads. Just watching him yesterday, hitting his second and third receivers already. That's stuff it's him just building.
And for me, the jury is still out on him. He did great. And I'm sure it is for you guys. Everybody's, wondering what he's going to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not sold. I'm not saying he's going to take us to the Super Bowl or anything.
Sure. But one thing I will say in his defense, the only thing that he's known before Sunday's game was McDaniels' offense.
Exactly.
And who has thrived in McDaniels' offense as him as a head coach?
Right.
Nobody.
Exactly.
Not one goddamn person in his defense. And then he comes out under a different head coach who got hired 4 days before. And wait a minute, he's got some protection because let's talk about the offensive line.
Right.
I thought the offensive line was trash. He sure stayed clean on Sunday.
Yeah.
He sure did. Josh Jacobs sure did get through the holes like he was supposed to.
Yep.
Right away say he's studying the Bible, not the strip clubs. Man, you guys are no fun. We're supposed to do this on a hypothetical basis. You guys are like, fuck this. I am loyal to my guys.
On that train, bro.
Else.
We on that train. We on that train. Full steam ahead.
Like I need to drive someone else. I'm like, dang, I love it. But I'm like, damn, well, there's what I had for this show.
No, it will be interesting though who we get at quarterback. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get somebody with some experience, and again, that's not me saying that he's gonna take O'Connell's job. Right. But I think we have to draft. We have to get somebody in one way or another and we have to get two guys. Yes. We need two backups. So, and I'm pretty sure I heard Davis say that he wanted, what's his name? That number 10, that one dude from San Francisco, that he wanted him traded up to the Vikings. I heard him say that, and that's why he
wanted to trade Garoppolo to the Vikings.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They wanted to trade him to the Vikings but I'm saying, I think we get some type of bridge quarterback to come and sit on the bench, and maybe we draft some dude that, some, off the wall pick that nobody knows about, to come sit behind that at the third string. That's what I think. I think that's best case scenario, and that's assuming that O'Connell does enough to get us, to get himself into next year as QB1.
Right.
Now for next week, gentlemen, what do you guys see as the key to victory against the Jets?
Show up.
He said show up.
What I saw today, we just got to be present and warm. The Jets are beatable. They're very beatable. There's a lot of hype around them at the beginning of the season because of what's his name, but I don't see too much. Whatever on them. I think we stay hard on defense. Yep. I think our defense has got us and kept us into a lot of games. That Detroit game that we got blown out, we could have gotten blown out by 4 touchdowns if they didn't hold them to field goals. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. And yeah, if you're on the field the whole goddamn game, who's not going to get tired? Yes. So that's just real talk. But defense, I expected this game to be a lot more run heavy. But I was pleasantly surprised that we mixed it up with the pass and the run with the different receivers. I was really happy about that. Do we rely on Josh Jacobs? So what? Let's rely on Josh Jacobs if we need to. If O'Connell seems, a little shaky in his second and his third start. But I think we stay on the gas with defense, and I think that's the key to the game. Yep,
100% agree. Just stay aggressive, dialing up the blitzes like we just dialed up, timely blitzes like we just had. Timely. It doesn't have to. We don't have to blitz, every down, but they were timely blitzes. We're mixing it up. We're bringing freaking, Spillane blitz, and we're having, Morig blitz. We had a safety blitz with Morig, you know what I mean. So we're mixing it up. So yeah, absolutely, stay aggressive. Don't let Zach Wilson get comfortable, because he's going to make mistakes. You keep the pressure on him. And we saw tonight how sloppy he is. He's going to make mistakes. And then, we have a guy in Josh Jacobs who can control the ball and run hard. The guy led the league in freaking rushing last year. Keep the ball in his hands. And you know what I mean? Let's control the clock. And we do what we do. And once again, Aiden have a mistake-free game. Just plays his game. Call him a game manager. Call him whatever you want. But you know what I mean? Do what he does. Make the right throws. Move the sticks. And once again, I've been saying it since the start. That is a very, very winnable game at home. Getting some sleeping in your own bed. Like I said, very winnable game.
And another thing that I think can help Aiden is the use of Hunter Renfrow.
Yes,
Hunter Renfrow is not a deep ball threat.
Nope.
But he can get you. He can move the chains. Yes. He can move the chains, and that's what you need. You got Josh Jacobs controlling the clock. You need you got a 3rd and 8. Okay, let's go to Renfrow. Things like that. That's where it is. But I think defense can help us out a lot.
Yes,
a lot.
Yeah. For me,
for the rest of the season,
defense to win this game, and Josh Jacobs. I think if we anywhere around 100 yards is going to help AOC. If we're rushing anywhere around 100 yards, and if our defense shows out like they did Sunday, I mean, which is like you're saying, you got to keep pressure on Zach. He's going to make mistakes.
Yep.
You know, we can get those same picks. You know, Crosby is going to eat 3 more sacks.
Yeah.
Plus some help from the big boys in the middle who got a couple themselves. I was like, man, even the tackles got some yesterday.
If you're a coach in the NFL and you say, I got a running threat like Jacobs, and I got a wide receiver threat like Adams and Jacoby Myers, I'll put him in the mix. Mm-hmm. And I got a slot threat like God, I'd be like, can I please coach that team? So we're talking down on what this is. Right. We're talking down on it. We got players, we got playmakers. Oh, you know.
And I'm only talking down just, you know, for AOC, you know what I mean? To keep it where, like I say, just for him. I mean, but you're right. I mean, and our rookie mayor. I love that kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right in. I'm like, that kid is a beast.
Yep. And I'll say this: I think we need to do kind of what we did yesterday again with the Jets. Is we didn't let Saquon beat us. You know, he had some good runs. He had some, you know, in the end, he had finished right around 80 yards or so rushing. But it wasn't any big plays. And we're going to have to do the same thing next week with Breece Hall. Don't let Breece Hall beat you. Make Zach Wilson beat you the same way we were going to make Daniel Jones beat us. And like I said, control the ball on offense, and that game will win by 2 touchdowns like we just did. You know what I mean? We'll have another game like we did yesterday. And that's the thing. You can't let Breece Hall beat you because that kid, I mean, he can be explosive just like Saquon could have been yesterday. And we kept Barkley in check. So we keep Breece Hall in check, go home with another win.
Definitely.
You got to think that Jacobs got to be a key to this game because our defense is doing what they do, but if we can keep them off the field and keep them rested up to do what they do when they got to be in there, that's a huge thing.
Absolutely,
that's huge.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, man, but all of a sudden it looks. And Omar, you said it just last week. Wait a minute. This is the same offensive line we had last year, except one dude.
Yeah.
So, but then all of a sudden, from one coach to the next, that offensive sack.
Right.
He was in on that meeting. Yeah. He sat in on the O-line meeting. Bro was like, we need to make a few little, you know, we need to tweak this a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are we currently we just have so many, and this was my main gripe with McDaniel. I'm like, you can't do nothing with that. Are you kidding me? What else do you want? What else do you want?
Yeah.
We have players. The players can play, you know, and it showed on Sunday. It was clear. It was clear, you know. Now, I'll tell you one thing about the coaching. I don't know. It looked like we went a little bit conservative in the second half on the offensive play calling.
Great.
I don't know if that was because, you know, coaches got to make adjustments at the half. That was one thing McDaniels could not do to save his life.
Sticking to that script too damn much.
Yeah, absolutely. And
plays ain't that
I don't know if we couldn't make or if we just said, hey, man, let's just rely on defense to get us through the clock. I'm not really sure. You know, I guess time will tell on that.
It just looks too common because I saw that too. Like, wait a minute. We went from rocking and rolling to 2 field goals in the second half. You know, putting up 24 points in the first half to 6 points in the second half. We want to be consistent throughout that game, no matter, you know, who used to say that they didn't even look at the scoreboard. They just kept playing until time ran out. And that's the mentality we got to have. We're just constantly trying to score points and stop the other team until time runs out. You know what I mean? So I hope that's not game management. But like I say, it just seemed too familiar. Yes. So I was just kind of like, let's just hope this new offensive coordinator, you know what I mean, has to find his groove and how to, you know what I mean, not write his play script, stick to it, and not have, a whole bunch of other things that he can go to when something is not working in that third and fourth quarter.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it's a great point. There were a couple times in the second half where, I found myself getting upset because it's like they were playing not to lose. Instead of playing to win like they were in the first half, they were playing not to lose. And it became on both sides of the ball. There were a couple defensive stances where you could kind of see that Patrick Graham kind of playing not to lose type of defense again, where they're playing back, and then all of a sudden he dialed up a couple more blitzes and like, okay, here we go again. And yeah, we got a little stagnant on offense, but
Totally.
But
I totally agree with that.
playing not to lose. See, I don't like that.
I agree. No,
I
I
want to just play
to win.
consistently our game.
Yep.
I get, defensive guys. I mean, come on. Here's the most ugliest word in football: prevent defense.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It's blasphemy, because it prevents you from winning.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah,
that's what it felt like at times, where we were kind of going into that mentality where, okay, we're going to run the ball on 3 straight downs and let the clock run and let's all this way. It's like we're halfway through the third quarter. Like, we're not there yet, guys. Let's keep the foot on the gas and let's go.
Yeah.
I don't want to run up the points on them. I don't care anything about that. I just want to be consistently all gas, no brakes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Until, of course, you get down where that time now, the safe zone is where there's less time on the clock than the opposing team could possibly score unless they got magic, unless they're using some witchcraft or some shit.
Yep.
And see, I saw that we was going to that prevent defense, and then I saw, just like you said, then all of a sudden we threw a blitz out there. I was like, okay, and my thing is, I hate when we're in I hate prevent defense with passion, but then I will say this though, I was actually expecting the Giants to score again because we were playing, and I said it to the people that was around me. I said they're going to score again because we're running that prevent defense, but they were stingy on defense. I was like, okay, all right, they were stingy on defense, but I don't think that's a recipe for success. Right. Moving forward, I totally agree with you guys. We got to stay on gas on offense and just keep putting. So what? We're
going to need that. See, in my mind, it looks like you don't need it for a bad team, but you damn sure need that mentality, that discipline, and have that in your coaching toolbox for those good teams.
Yeah, because before you know it, it's the fourth quarter, and oh damn, we only up by 10, and oh wait a minute, now the defense is tired. Nah. You got to stay on gas. Yep. You got to stay on the gas.
All right, guys. Well, we are out of time. Any final words? Anything we missed? It was a lot. And we made it through.
Let's go.
You tried to debate us talking about new coaches and bringing in this new quarterback and new coaches, and we weren't going for it.
Thanks for shutting me down.
One in the right direction,
you guys.
I don't even want to hear it.
I
don't even want to hear it.
I got shut down, man. Anyway, love it, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining me, man. It's always good to have you guys on there. I look forward to seeing you guys at some games. Let's get together. And you guys know that, hey, we are going to keep this thing going. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting rest of the season. Yeah. So I am looking forward to seeing it. And, guys, we only go out one way and only one way. Raiders! Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Y'all be cool, man.
Produced by Hamza Yassin.